Christopher Bell did not just win at Bristol Motor Speedway. He made every other driver look like they were racing in a different sport. While 35 other trucks pushed hard, sweated every lap, and fought for position, Bell cruised. He won by 0.33 seconds, but that gap tells you nothing about how total his control was. This was not a race, this was a masterclass. And when you see the full picture, you will understand why nobody on that track stood a single chance. Christopher Bell crushes everyone at Bristol. That is not hype. That is exactly what happened on that concrete half mile. Let me break it down. Bristol Motor Speedway is one of the hardest tracks in all of motorsport. It is 0.533 miles of concrete, banked at 26 to 30 degrees in the corners, and it punishes every mistake instantly. There is no forgiveness here. The walls are close. The racing is aggressive, and the drivers who win here are not lucky. They are precise. Bell came into this race in the number 62 Tricon Garage Toyota Tundra. This was not a feel-good underdog story. This was a machine built to win, driven by a man who already knew how to win here. Bell had already proven himself on concrete short tracks long before this moment. But what he did in the Tennessee Army National Guard 250 was something different. He did not just win. He controlled the race from the front and made it look routine. What makes that even harder to process is the format Bristol demands. The track forces trucks into extremely tight racing lines. There is almost no room to breathe. Every lap, drivers are inches from the wall and inches from each other. One small error costs you 2 or 3 positions immediately. Bell ran lap after lap without giving anyone that opening. 0 errors. 0 gifts. Just clean, surgical truck racing from start to finish. Here is the part most people missed. Bell was not even supposed to be the center of the story that day. There was another driver pushing hard, making noise, and threatening to steal the whole thing. And he almost did. Chandler Smith is one of the most exciting young talents in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series right now. He is aggressive, he is fast, and at Bristol, he was genuinely dangerous. Smith pushed Bell hard throughout that race. He stayed close. He applied pressure. He did everything right. And it still was not enough. The final gap was 0.33 seconds. That sounds small. But in truck racing, where drafting and restarts can flip the entire order in one turn, 0.33 seconds at Bristol means one driver was simply better that day. Smith was not slow. Smith was not bad. Smith was excellent. Bell was just on another level entirely. Think about what Smith had to deal with. Bristol does not give a chasing driver many clean opportunities to make a pass on a leader who is hitting every mark. The leader controls the preferred lane. The leader controls restart positioning. The leader dictates pace under green. Smith needed Bell to slip up even once. Bell never did. That is the part that should scare every other driver in that series. When your best effort, your cleanest race, your hardest push results in second place by 1/3 of a second, and the leader was never truly threatened, that tells you something. Bell was not surviving. He was managing. Remember that title, Christopher Bell crushes everyone at Bristol. We are only halfway through and you already see why that word, crushes, was the right one. Stay with me because what comes next explains how Bell got to this point and why Bristol specifically belongs to him. Bell grew up racing dirt. Before NASCAR, before trucks, before cup cars, he was on dirt ovals in Oklahoma, learning how to feel a car slide, how to manage grip on a surface that changes every single lap. That background built instincts that most NASCAR drivers simply do not have. Bristol concrete is not dirt, but it behaves in ways that reward dirt track instincts. The grip level shifts across the surface. The lanes move. A driver who only learned on smooth asphalt looks for one groove and stays there. A driver who grew up on dirt reads the whole track in real time and adjusts constantly. Bell adjusts constantly. That is his edge. His number 62 Tundra was also dialed in perfectly. Tricon Garage brought a setup that worked with Bell's style, not against it. The truck rotated cleanly through the corners, stayed stable under braking, and gave Bell confidence to push early in the laps before the surface changed. That combination of driver instinct and mechanical setup is what separates a good Bristol run from a dominant one. There is also the mental side of Bristol that never gets talked about enough. The noise inside that stadium is unlike any other track. The crowd wraps around you. The echo off the walls is constant. Drivers who are not fully locked in mentally feel that environment pressing on them. Bell races at Bristol like the crowd is not there, Like the walls are not there, he narrows his focus down to the truck, the line, and the lap time. That kind of mental discipline is something you cannot coach. You either have it or you do not. Bell has it. But here is what makes this win more than just a performance. This Bristol trophy is part of something bigger. And when you see the pattern building around Bell's career right now, you realize this was not just a race win. It was a statement. Bell is primarily a NASCAR Cup Series driver. He runs for Joe Gibbs Racing in the Cup Series full-time. His truck starts are special events. He does not grind the full Truck Series schedule. He drops in, competes against drivers who eat and breathe this series every single week, and wins. That is not normal. Full-time truck drivers know every track's quirks. They know the specific tire wear patterns, the preferred lanes through each corner, the timing of pit cycles on each track's specific rhythm. Bell comes in without that accumulated race-by-race knowledge and still dominates. That speaks to raw talent at a level that very few drivers in this sport can match. And at Bristol specifically, the results keep coming. Every time Bell is on that concrete, he is a threat. This win adds to a track record that competitors study and dread. Bell at Bristol is one of the most reliable outcomes in the Truck Series right now. That should not be possible for a part-time entrant, but it is. Consider the pressure that puts on full-time truck drivers. You spend an entire week preparing for one race. You study data, you work on setup, you plan your strategy for every restart scenario. Then Bell shows up, gets in a truck, and beats you anyway. That has to mess with your head. That has to make you question whether the gap between you and the very top level of this sport is closing or whether it is actually getting wider. For most of the field at Bristol, that answer was uncomfortable. You came here because the title said Bell crushed everyone. We showed you the race. We showed you Chandler Smith's real challenge. We showed you the dirt track instincts and the mental edge behind the dominance. Now let's close this out with what it all means going forward. Chandler Smith will be back. He is too talented and too competitive to let one loss define his season. The Truck Series in 2025 has real depth, real competition, and drivers who will push Bell hard every time he shows up. But Bell just sent a message that goes beyond one race result. He showed every full-time truck driver that his skill does not rust between appearances. He showed TRICON Garage that their setup work is producing results. And he showed Bristol itself that his connection with that concrete track is not slowing down. For fans of the Truck Series, this is exactly what you want to see. A star talent dropping in and raising the stakes of every single lap. No easy miles, no cruise control. Bell had to earn this one against real pressure from Smith, and he delivered under that pressure without cracking. The drivers who beat Bell in the future will not do it by being almost as good. They will have to be better in every single phase of the race, on a track where Bell has already shown he makes zero mistakes. That is an extraordinarily high bar to clear. Nobody cleared it at Bristol. That is the mark of a driver who does not just perform when the conditions are easy, Bell performs when it counts. The question now is simple. The next time Christopher Bell rolls into a truck race, which track gets to find out if anyone has finally figured out how to beat him? Because right now, nobody has the answer. Christopher Bell crushes everyone at Bristol. That title was accurate before the race started, accurate while it happened, and even more accurate now that you have seen every layer of why. Bell is not just winning races. He is building a legacy one concrete half-mile at a time. If you want to see what dominance actually looks like in short-track truck racing, you just watched it.